Alrighty, Alliance Raid Roulette, let's go. I haven't done this in about 3 months. What are we gonna get? It's probably gonna be Crystal Tower. Hell yeah, let's go. Of course it's this one. I don't even mind Labyrinth the Ancients that much. I don't care that much. But ah man, it's just so frustrating sometimes the way that things get handled. But anyways, yeah, good afternoon. I made sure to eat lunch before I started recording today, so that's good. We're making progress. This is character development IRL right now. So I kind of decided that August was going to be the month where I really sort of get YouTube back into gear because you know, as I mentioned before, not having momentum on YouTube is kind of a big deal. Like you know, when you don't have the algorithm on your site to recommend your videos and stuff, it's really tough. You know, sometimes you just don't, your videos just don't get put out there. So the idea is to, like, you know what, as much as I would love to just wait until Endwalker for like a completely fresh slate to just post new stuff, there's actually a lot of videos I want to get out before then, and it's just a good idea in general to just have stuff posted constantly. So we're gonna have some fun, and there's actually a lot of projects I want to get done between now and then anyway, so it's fine. Right now I'm focused on being productive. There's actually quite a bit of stuff that I want to get done. Patch 5.58 hit like a week or two ago, a little while ago. Let's make sure the tank doesn't die first. And with it, a lot of like the stuff like all of the capped things are uncapped now, so you can basically just work on whatever you want at this point, which is kind of nice. This guy's, he's got it. So that's really nice. Like, so we're not completely uncapped when it comes to tomes, I guess. Whatever the cap tome is called, I forgot. But basically everything else you can pretty much get. You can get coins, you can get the little blades from Eternity if you want to work on getting those weapons out. Lots of stuff to work on. Obviously I still want to work on Mentor Roulette, and I got a bunch of other projects I would like to get done. He's probably fine. Looks still alive? No, it's not. So anyways, if you're seeing this in the first few days of August, then that means I'm on track with my own goals. That's pretty cool. But don't worry, give it a week or so, and I promise you, I will probably mess it up. I don't know, man. Things happen. Honestly, it's been kind of tough to get a quiet moment, I guess is the correct way of saying it. I've had free time, definitely. I've had free time, but it's hard to get quiet free time because taking care of kittens, as it turns out, they're very loud and like to meow a lot. And so it's just kind of training them to not be that way. They like to jump up everywhere. They like to claw at everything. I've actually gotten, they're a lot better at not stepping on my keyboards, which is nice. I don't know, maybe I yelled at them enough times that they understood. Hey, you see this glowing little rectangle here? Maybe we shouldn't step on that. That's kind of cool. But on top of that, it's also really hot, which makes it particularly difficult because you know, it's really hot, and when I record, like, I try to keep my door closed so you don't get like all the other noise of the the outside of my house, outside of this room. Before, I mean, because I mentioned this, I think in a last video maybe. I had like a specific room that's kind of sectioned off from all the bedrooms and everything. What is happening? And the nice thing about that room was that it was kind of sectioned off away from the bedrooms, so I can make as much noise as I wanted basically, and I have to worry about being like super quiet or anything, which is kind of nice. But obviously that room went to the kittens as their sort of playroom and where we keep them at night so they don't bug the neighbors and stuff. So yeah, I'm back in my own bedroom now. And it's tough too because at night, very limited because you know, people sleep. Like as much as I like being nocturnal, you know, not everyone else in my household is. So, God, I hate this. I hate it when they do this. It's annoying when they pull the dragon all the way over here. Let's just keep it in the middle. But yeah, so hopefully, I mean, we're gonna try our best to move my recording. Like, typically when I record, it's usually actually always either lunch or dinner time. So we're gonna try our best to record more in like the mornings and early afternoons, as best we can, and try to avoid any conflicts with noise. Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know, I probably should have chosen a better time to talk about stuff other than in the middle of something. Where I'm actually healing, by the way, on Astrologian, where you need a little bit more, you know, a little bit more concentration than that. But man, okay, so let's focus up. This is Labyrinth of the Ancients. Alright, this is a very tough raid. We gotta focus really hard here. We don't wanna cause any wipes or make it so that somebody dies, you know? You gotta keep on our toes. This is a really good sign though. We're all kind of in the right area. Yeah, every time I do Labyrinth of the Ancients, there's always like 6 people who get teleported into A. There's a lot more of you that can go, my friend. How is it A? Okay. About to say, how is it A that's not have enough people? By the way, I love how this raid has been out for like ever, and this raid has been out forever, and they still haven't bothered to fix to fix the spawns in this particular trash pool to make it so that people get teleported to the right spot. Like, they could just easily make it so that, you know, if it gets pulled early, which it almost always does, then people get teleported to the right, you know, platform instead of just all auto-filling to A, which is a terrible design choice. But whatever, I digress. We'll just resort to people yelling at each other when they don't have enough people. I mean, I'm not a game developer. I don't know how much time it would actually take to redesign the spawning mechanics. I imagine it's just probably not that bad, right? I don't know. And you can really tell how antique this raid is, you know, because of just the general design of it. Like, there's literally this solid like 20 to 30 seconds where Alliance B and Alliance C have absolutely nothing to freaking do. Like, there's nothing to attack. They can't attack anything. There we go. Now we can hit stuff. Guy just did divination after I very clearly did it first. Some great cooperation happening. Also, towers and behemoth. That's probably the biggest thing, right? Is towers. And I can't believe we accepted that this raid needed 6 tanks. And one of the mechanics of of the raid was for 4 of those tanks to just sit there and press a button every now and then. I mean, when you look at the progression from Labyrinth of the Ancients to Circus Tower, it's a big improvement on just giving everyone something to always do. Like, everyone is always hitting the boss. There's no segmented parts, right, in Circus Tower, I don't think. Yeah, you're always all together for the most part. I mean, there is, I think in World of Darkness you have the Atomos thing again, right? Where, you know, you're kind of segmented and everyone tries to give everyone a role in Cerberus. It doesn't always work out that way. Like, for instance, I don't know why. I mean, I get it fits with the acronym, right? You got the, you know, the A goes to ads, B goes to belly, C goes to chains, but I mean, why the hell do you need a whole entire party to deal with chains? You only need 2 people to do chains, so I don't know why there's a whole freaking party assigned just to that one, you know? In which case, you know, whenever I'm a DPS in C or something, I just freaking go into the belly or attack ads. Also, you can walk all the way up to the B ad, but someone always ends up pulling before I walk all the way up there, and then it looks like I'm the one who pulled when I'm clearly not the one who did it on my screen. So yeah, I tend not to do that. What? I love this guy. Okay, never mind. I was about to say I love the guys who pull early, but I mean, it's Labyrinth of the Ancients. People catch up. Why is this guy taking so much damage? What's happening? At least there's enough people that we're not overlapping cards. Didn't overlap divination that time. How many people are new? Because, I mean, you know, there's like a gazillion and 1 sprouts coming in right now. Like, July has been an absolutely crazy month for Final Fantasy XIV, you know? Like, I don't even understand. Like, there were so many factors that just all stacked in, like, this one chunk in, like, mid-July that just had so many people trying the game. It was crazy. And a lot of we retained a lot of those players as well. But I mean, that was crazy. Like, there were so many things that happened to probably help contribute to the fact. Like, you can't point to just one overall thing and be like, oh yeah, that's the reason why so many people are playing. Because there's probably a multitude of reasons. Like, you had a lot of big WoW players trying out the game. Like, you had Asmongold trying the game, which is a thing. I don't even know. I don't follow him at all. I just know he's a big person for WoW because people tell me he is, and I don't care about WoW at all. so I know absolutely nothing about it. Then you also had the benchmark trailer and the benchmark releasing kind of in the same time. You had the... Holy shit, that's a lot of dead people. There's a lot of dead people, and I am not going to spend that much time raising them. I'll raise the healers. Jeez. My goodness. Alright. We need to start raising somebody. Dude, this comet is gonna die. This is our... Okay, no, we have another comet back here. We have another comet back here. I'm just gonna... We're gonna keep everyone alive who's still currently alive for the time being. Wow. What is happening? Holy shit. I've never seen it this bad before. Here you go, have this. Like, that's gonna matter at all. Who are you reviving? Are you reviving the same person I'm reviving? No, you're not. Okay, he's fine. Jeez, man. What is happening? I'm gonna start reviving some DPS at this point. Ow, ow! Holy shit! What? That's what happens when enough people are not on the consoles, by the way. Wow. That is the first time I have wiped to Behemoth in about 6 years. What happened? Wow. That's crazy. Anyways, as I was saying, like, there was a lot of factors. Popular WoW streamers migrating and trying out Final Fantasy XIV, which in turn probably caused a lot of their followers to also try Final Fantasy XIV. You had the benchmark trailer and the benchmark actually releasing as well. You had the 14-hour broadcast. Also, the 14-hour broadcast also announced the returning feature, right? So if you had bought the game before, you were also given like this pretty big period, pretty generous period to come back and try the game for free. I don't actually know the actual specifics of that, but it's a pretty decent chunk of time that you could come back and play if you had already purchased the game at some point. And yeah, so it's just a lot of factors, and pretty insane, honestly, what ended up happening. Like that's a lot of people that came to play the game. Like more than it's hard to get a good read on the actual numbers, right? But if we're just going off of like Steam numbers alone, the peak for amount of Steam players we had ended up being more than what we had for the launch of Shadowbringers, which is pretty insane to think about. Like, because I think in terms of just Steam, right? I think it was like 43,000 somewhere along there for the amount of Steam players we had for Shadowbringer launch, around Shadowbringers launch time, I should say, and then it peaked at some point in July with like 58,000 last time I looked, and that's just for Steam. Again, it's kind of hard to really tell because there's a lot of people. I mean, you also have people on PSN playing the game, and also people who just don't buy their game via Steam. I'm one of those people. I don't know. I just When I decided to pick up Final Fantasy XIV, I didn't want it tied to Steam for some reason, and I've just kind of stuck with that. I never went and bought the game on Steam. I want it separate, so I always buy it through the Square Enix store. Not that it really seems to matter that much, just one less thing to have to go through when you're launching the game. Just kind of, I just didn't want it through Steam. And also this way, probably all the profits go to Square Enix, rather than having to do the, 30% split with Steam, right? Yeah. Which is kind of an unfortunate thing, right? Because sometimes I just want to know just how long I've sunk into this game total. And it's kind of hard to calculate, because I have to literally go into every single one of my players, or my characters, not players. Every single one of my characters, add up all the playtime on those characters, together. And even then, it's not a very good accurate showing of how long I've played, because I've made and deleted characters over the 8 or so years. 8 years, by the way. 8 years. 8 freaking years playing this game. I know we haven't hit the 8-year anniversary, but I started closed beta like around this time in 2013, back in July. So it's been 8 years literally since I've started playing. That's crazy. That is a third of my life I've played this game. And I've loved most of the time playing it. There's a couple frustrating points here and there, but it's all good frustration, you know what I mean? Kind of like how stress is kind of good. You don't want just it's kind of boring. You don't want just a happy, uneventful, no conflict life, right? You need a little bit of stress there. Otherwise, you know, the happiness starts to fall short a little bit, you know? Also, I really hope that we do this properly. That was a little close for comfort. I don't think we're gonna get another divination. I'm gonna start throwing ladies out. Ladies and lords. Hey, we definitely have enough people on our platform, so. Wow. I mean, this is actually good for me, because I still need the little items you get here for the weapons, so. Crystal Tower. I wish I was on the Palace of the Dead step. I kind of have an itching to play Palace of the Dead. It's just kind of strange. But obviously not gonna go do that when I could be making tiny bits of progress. That's another thing too. I was really disappointed with this this latest patch 5.58, right? Because I was really hoping that they would at least make Palace of the Dead not shitty to do. Because the drop rates in Palace of the Dead are just so bad for those items, the time-worn artifacts or whatever. They're so bad, and they actually did the opposite. They just made Delibrum even better for getting those items. And it's like, come on, man. Nobody wants to do Delibrum. It's shitty. No one likes Baja. There's plenty of people who like Baja. I'm not one of them. I despise Baja so much. I want absolutely no reason to go back in there beyond the absolute minimum amount I have to do to get the steps to do it outside of there. It's a little harsh, but you know, it's not any less true. I mean, my feelings towards Baja have not changed at all. For some reason, DPS is in need, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna DPS this. This feels weird. I haven't done my roulettes in a solid like 2 to 3 months. Every time I log into Final Fantasy XIV, it's always crafting or gathering or doing like maybe a couple hunt builds or like daily, like Beastman dailies. Or leveling another character. That's it. That's what Final Fantasy XIV's been for me for the last couple months. Like basically after I went and got my first resistance weapon done, I basically haven't been playing any of the rest of the game really beyond crafting and basically setting myself up to make more gil. So yeah, I mean, which is working. Like I'm on track. Like one stupid goal I have is to be a billionaire before Endwalker, and I think I'm mostly on track for that. That being said, I haven't really been working on selling stuff on the market board. It's mostly just been, you know, what can I make from the game's services, I suppose. Over in Q, we might as well do like hunt bills or something. And you know, but it's a nice change of pace to decide. You know what? Let's get some roulettes out of the way. Let's do some let's get some tomes. You know. What are these tomes called? What are the cap tomes called again? I forgot. Revelation. That's probably why I forgot. It's not a cool fun name like Phantasmagoria. Ooh. Man, I'm not even halfway done with these, by the way. These little crystal tower things. And this is just like for the second weapon. Like I still needed. I want to at least get all 3 range done and maybe a couple healers and a tank. Ideally, I want like 6-ish weapons, but the problem is the problem is I've just been working on other stuff to really have time to work on it. Honestly, if I wasn't so focused on leveling other characters, I probably would have had probably 3 or 4 weapons done by now. As frustrating as it would be to do the Pals of the Dead step, I feel like that step probably takes the longest because it takes a while to do Pals of the Dead alone, like I like to do it, and the drop rates are abysmal. It takes a while for that, especially. God, I miss Dancer. I haven't played Dancer in so long. Honest to goodness, like, I should not like Dancer as much as I do, because it's so simple. You know, it's a lot simpler than I would have liked it to be. I wish it was more complex and interesting. Like, as it stands, Dancer is just, it's really simple and easy to learn job. Like, I feel like, honestly, I feel like Red Mage is still easier than Dancer to pick up and learn. Even though you still occasionally get those people who start like hard casting Ferrero or something, but for the most part, I feel like Red Mage is an easier job to pick up. There's a bit more of like restraint when it comes to Dancer, because like sometimes you'll see people who just immediately blow like their fan stacks or whatever they're called, the fourfold flurries, whatever, right? You're not supposed to do that. And then there's kind of a little bit of nuance with holding on, like you can kind of hold on to your procs or your combos in a sense and do your procs. I don't even know how to really explain that in a way that makes sense. But like shit, how do I explain this in a way that makes sense? Like, it's probably really self-explanatory if you've spent a decent chunk of time on Dancer. But like, for instance, if you use Cascade and you get a reverse Cascade proc, you don't necessarily have to do reverse Cascade right away, right? You can go do, you know, Fountain Fall. Is it called Fountain Fall? Fountain Fall is the proc version, but you can go do Fountain and hold on to that Cascade proc or reverse Cascade proc without using it first. I don't know. I mean, it's again, it's not like there's not a whole heaping amount of complicated nuance to Dancer, but yeah, there's just so many factors that make me like this job way more than I have any right liking, considering that I like some of the more intricate job design. But I think one of the factors that I really love about Dancer is actually the sound design. It is so good. Honestly, the sound design for Gunbreaker was amazing too, until they ruined it. Man. And to be clear, there are ways of getting back that old sound design that I will not mention here because it's technically not something you should be doing. But man, yeah, if you didn't play Gunbreaker before they changed the sound design, oh man, it was so much better before. Because now when you do Gunbreaker, it sounds like you're just swinging a club around, like a dull club, which is not something you should be saying about swinging around a sharp blade that also shoots guns, or shoots bullets, I should say. Yeah, it sounds so underwhelming. Gunbreaker design. I don't know why they changed it. I guess maybe it was a JP thing. Cause like before it used to have like a very distinct metallic like sound, which sounded really freaking cool. And then like 5.05 I think came around and they patched it. And they didn't even say anything in a patch note or anything. It was they just straight up did it without saying anything. They patched it and now it sounds like really just dull club swinging sounds that aren't cool at all. They just sound like you're swinging a club. Like it sounds like you're swinging around like it sounds more closely to Warrior, I guess. Which it's Warrior sound design aside from like Felclave isn't that great in my opinion either. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing when they changed the sound design for Gunbreaker. So much so that it actually kind of ruined the job for me. I was very excited to level Gunbreaker back then, and then they changed the sound design, and I was very discouraged, and it ended up being one of the last one of the last jobs I ended up leveling back then. It's kind of sad. I remember actually, I voiced my displeasure with the sound design for Gunbreaker once. And I had someone comment like, "Oh man, that's a very childish thing to say that you're not gonna play a job because you don't like the sound design." I'm like, I mean, you don't like an aspect of a job. I think it's completely fair within your right to not like a job because of a certain aspect that you just don't like, right? Like I don't think it's any childish to say, "Oh, I don't like a job because of this reason," regardless of the reason is, as petty as it is. Because I mean, it's not like you need to play that job, right, to enjoy the game. There's 17 current jobs in the game that you could possibly play. You only need to be able to play one of them to basically enjoy every piece of content. Well, not every piece of content, vast majority of the content available to you. But yeah, I explained to that person in as respectful of a manner as I possibly could that I found their opinion to be kind of wrong, because sound design is something that a lot of people don't really pay too much attention to in a lot of cases. Like you'll notice when sound design, it's kind of like a UI, right? Like you won't notice, like a lot of the average gamer won't notice a game's UI unless it's really bad or really terrific. And if it's just okay, then it doesn't really garner much attention, right? Like a friend was showing me New World, which is the Amazon Games MMO, that I have absolutely no interest in playing, by the way, because one, I'm just gonna play Final Fantasy XIV and I have no interest in stopping playing Final Fantasy XIV. And two, I don't like Amazon. And three, New World just its mechanics just don't interest me. It's more PvP oriented, and that's actually one of the reasons why I like Final Fantasy XIV so much, is that it's not very PvP oriented. It's very much a PvE driven game, story driven game, which is what I like. But someone was showing me New World, which was in like a closed beta like a week ago or so. It might have just ended beta like yesterday at the time of recording. It's August 2nd when I'm recording right now. And they were showing me it, and they opened like the inventory menu, and it was just very displeasing to look at. Like it had all the elements there, like all the elements were there, but it was just very displeasing to the eye. Like it was very sharp blocks, very different varying colors that just did not mesh well together at all. You know, like you look at like a Final Fantasy XIV's UI. Here, let me pull up New World's UI, because maybe I'm just misrepresenting its UI menus and all that. But like someone opened like their character menu, it just did not look very pleasing to the eye. Also, I should probably just of course, when I'm in the middle of trying to look up something, this happens. But yeah, I don't know, it was just like It was very, it's not that even that much different from how Final Fantasy XIV's UI looks, but it just, maybe it was just that person who I was looking at. Maybe it was just that person's version of their UI that looked weird. I don't know, there was something about it that was just not very pleasing to look at. Like, everything just looked off. I don't know. I mean, I don't wish New World any harm, you know. I think it's if people like that game, then sure. It's not a game for me, and obviously I don't like Amazon. And also, I mean, when you think about it, Crucible it came and it went. It doesn't even exist anymore, right? Is Crucible even a thing? You guys know what Crucible is? If you don't, that's totally fine, because it was like an Amazon hero shooter type thing that came and went. Nobody played it. I don't even think it's on the Steam page anymore. It's kind of crazy. That game literally just does not exist anymore. But you know, I'm not like trying to put Amazon down just because I didn't like working there. I mean, Amazon Game Studios is obviously a different entity kind of to actual Amazon. And I wish New World all the best, but I mean, just it's not a game for me. And also, I did not like I didn't like how the menu looked. But I mean, the world looked fantastic. You know, it was very luscious, detailed world, way more detailed than Final Fantasy XIV looks. Not that the world of Final Fantasy XIV is really the point, whereas in New World I feel like that's more of the point, right? Because in New World there's a lot of walking around, like there's no mounts and stuff. It's kind of weird. So the environment is much more a part of that game than it is for 14 in a sense. Kind of a weird way of putting it. But yeah, I don't mean any harm to New World at all. I'm just saying. I looked at the UI and it was very displeasing to my eye. But I was getting to the point that sound design, very important aspect of a game, in my opinion, that a lot of people tend to forget about. Unless the sound design is particularly terrible, in which case, yeah, people will notice it. But you know, the sound design for Dancer in particular, I really love. Like, Reverse Cascade is my favorite skill to use on Dancer, just because of the sound design of it. It sounds amazing to me. I love it. Also, man, I totally do not remember this dungeon. Like, I remember it, but man, it's been so long since I've done it, I should say. Because, I mean, I haven't really had the need to do expert or get tomes, really, for the last few months. So I haven't been... Also, I wasn't paying attention, so somehow my flourish, or whatever, is it called flourish? The thing that gives me all my procs got misaligned. Oh, it is whatever. It's a freaking expert dungeon. Ah, man, it's starting to get hotter. Part of that has to do with the fact that I actually close my door when I record. It's great. Like, I've mentioned this before. My mom doesn't really understand what I do for YouTube. Like, she understands the point of it, right? Like, you know, I'm recording a game and sharing it with others, but she doesn't understand why that would be entertaining. But she does support it, which is kind of funny. So actually, in my room, it used to be hung up on the door outside of the room where I actually had all my gaming equipment and stuff. But now it's outside my bedroom door. But there's actually, she made a sign. She made a sign. I mean, it's not that really impressive. Basically, just a laminated sign, a laminated piece of paper rather, that just says recording on one side, and I flip it over when I'm recording so that they know to like not just barge into my room when I'm recording. So, you know, If they really need me, they'll come and knock on my door, but they won't just like barge into my room and start talking to me while I'm in the middle of recording session. That goes for my my little sister too. Which she has shown interest in wanting to play games with me. But I'm not really sure what games we'd play together. I say my little sister, she's not that little, she's 16. So, you know, basically the age I was when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. Man, that's crazy. It's really, really crazy to put that kind of thing into perspective in that way. Be like, hey man, I've been playing this game for 8 years, which is actually a third of my life that I've lived. No, I'll give you guys a little peek into what's going on in my brain when it comes to what I'm gonna do for Endwalker. I haven't really decided yet, but the way I see it, there's 3 paths that I foresee myself being okay with taking when it comes to what I'll play in Endwalker, in terms of like what I'll main, you know, what I'll focus on, what I'll try to raid on. The simplest answer is I'll just stick to what I'm doing, right? Ranged DPS. I like all 3 ranged DPS, and barring them changing drastically how they play, which I don't really foresee them doing. Like, they already made drastic sweeping changes to Bard and Machinist once already. I don't see them changing Dancer that much either. I don't see myself not liking them going into Endwalker. So that's one avenue. The other avenue that I'm actually highly considering, honestly, it's actually going back to healers, and that a lot of that depends on whether or not healers are made more interesting. In terms of DPS, I should specify. I really feel like I kind of understand what they were going with the simplification of DPS in Shadowbringers, but I don't think it really worked, in my opinion. So I really hope they go back to making DPS for healers a bit more interesting. So I don't know if I'll go back on Sage. I feel like if I were to heal, I'd probably want to stick with White Mage and Astrologian, and leave Sage to someone else. You know, shiny new Sage. Someone can play shiny new Sage. I don't know. Maybe I'll play Sage, but I've also considered going back to healers. That's another thing. And I also like. I've taken a really big liking to Dragoon, and Reaper's gonna be using maiming gear, so you know, maybe get a little bit of Reaper action. You know, just hop on the Reaper train, do some Bloodborne in my Final Fantasy XIV. You know. But again, we know like absolutely nothing about Reaper, so I mean, a Reaper could very easily just be something that I don't enjoy playing at all, based on how it ends up playing, and we won't really know. Like, I think Mediator is supposed to start mid-September, right? So we'll probably know, around probably then. Well, that's the thing, right? Because the Mediator's supposed to happen in like mid-September, but I'm not actually sure when the NDA like kind of drops off on that, and we can start learning information about it, like us normies who don't get invited to the Mediator. Dude, it would be awesome if I got invited to the Mediator. You kidding me? That would be like so cool. It's not gonna happen though. There's no way. That would be an amazing thing though. Amazing opportunity to get invited to do the Final Fantasy XIV Mediator. Oh my god. That'd be so cool. But no, I don't think that's in the cards for me. For one thing, I don't think I'm that influential that they would consider me. And also, Final Fantasy XIV doesn't really seem to pay much attention to YouTube. You know, like when it comes to a lot of their events, they seem to want to work with people on like Twitch streamers more than they ever do work with YouTubers in particular. I think that was pretty evident with their little promotional event they had going on not too long ago. I don't even remember what it was, maybe like a month or so ago, maybe a little longer ago, where they had like select Twitch streamers basically that you could go and do stuff with, and you'd get like rewards. Like you get like the black chocobo in case you didn't already have it. I already had it for some reason, I don't know. I think it was part of like an Amazon promotional thing, which someone gifted to me like the code for it. So I didn't even do it myself. I already had that, but yeah, it was strictly Twitch, no YouTubers involved. I mean, there were some YouTubers who happened to have Twitch accounts that were part of that, but no, it was all Twitch. And it's not the first time they've had Twitch collaborations in the past either, and it's usually always Twitch. And I have no presence on Twitch, I'm all YouTube. Even when I do stream, which I haven't streamed in a while, but even when I do, I pretty much stream on YouTube, and I'm just more comfortable keeping everything in one spot for the time being. Not saying I won't eventually decide, hey, you know, maybe I'll give Twitch a shot, but it's not something I'm really considering at the time being. I've had people tell me that I should do Twitch, because I mean, the cool thing about Twitch too is that you can kind of double dip. In terms of a more crude way of saying it, you can kind of double dip, right? Because you can stream on Twitch and then you can upload your VODs from Twitch to YouTube, and it's essentially doubling the amount of times you get people to view stuff. Two different platforms, also you get two different audiences. You know, maybe people who don't spend very much time on YouTube will spend a lot of time on Twitch, or you'll end up finding you. That doesn't make any sense. Do I ever make sense? The correct answer is no. There's another video I want to make explaining how being an introvert really shaped how I play this game. I feel like some people might be surprised at me saying that and calling myself an introvert, considering I don't know, I've had a lot of people tell me, hey man, you sound so natural when you do your videos like this. You know, it sounds like you know, we're just hanging out on the couch together, and you know, you're talking to us as like a friend. I'm like, that's really sweet that people think that way, but in all actuality, I am just a shy mess. I do not know how I managed to build up enough of a enough confidence to have this sort of personality that I do when I record. It's really strange. Honestly, in a way, when I started YouTube back when I was in middle school, I think. It wasn't with Final Fantasy XIV. I mentioned this before. It's not the first channel I've had. This channel in particular. Back then, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty back when Call of Duty was good, also known as Advanced Warfare era. You know, all the in between Call of Duty 4 and Black Ops 2 era of Call of Duty, I used to play a lot of that. And I used to really idolize Call of Duty YouTubers back then, and that's kind of what got me into YouTubing and stuff. With a Dazzle DVC 100, AV cables. But I was there were several reasons for it, and this is why I kind of want to make a video dedicated to it, because I know there's a lot of people who suffer from like being an introvert themselves, and also just having anxiety when it comes to stuff like this, like playing an online game. But yeah, part of why I started YouTube was kind of like a way of I don't even know how to explain it. Kind of coming out of my shell, I guess, you know? Because in a way, like, I was still, like, not dealing with people head on, you know, it was through recording and through my voice, really. So in a way, it really helped me out, kind of growing into an more functioning adult at the time from the scrawny teenager nerd that I was. Now I'm a scrawny adult nerd instead, who can talk and communicate marginally better than I used to be able to. And you know, it's not like I'm a crippling introvert to the point where I can't go outside and talk to strangers. Like I can sit down at a restaurant and order my food just fine, and I can talk respectfully. You know, thankfully I was raised by a pretty great mom. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been pretty shy, so it's kind of weird, just how much I'm willing to sort of put myself out there, I guess, when it comes to these recording sessions and streaming when I do stream. I haven't streamed in a while. I don't want to stream until I've kind of built back up some of that momentum I was talking about before. Because there's nothing more unnerving about streaming than streaming and then having nobody come to watch your stream. It makes me sad. Uh-oh. There's sirens, guys. Oh no. I have my window open because there's absolutely no way I can keep myself confined in this space in the middle of summer and not freaking die of heat. Hey, we did it. Feeling lucky. Oh my god. Goodbye, friends. That's another thing too. Part of my introversion. I never type anything out to people. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I do sometimes. But like I literally have emotes. Or macros, I should say. I communicate via macros and emotes most of the time when it comes to 2D Finder groups or even Party Finder groups. I'll just use I use my hello macro. I literally have a macro for saying hello in party chat. Like, can I bring this up? I found this out, by the way. Like, this is something. Playing this game for 8 years, by the way. Playing the game for 8 years. I figured out that you can right click on a macro and bring up the edit macro button and find it in the macro menu that way. I used to always just go to the macro menu through the controller drop down thing, and then I have to search every single one to find it. But yeah, I literally have a macro that literally just says hello and auto translate. Which auto translate, I feel like more people should use that. I mean, there's not a whole lot of reason to use it unless you're specifically queuing for stuff, talking to other people, right? Who speak different languages, which honestly I've maybe gotten into a situation where I partied with somebody who is speaking Japanese, or at least typing Japanese. Technically it's no voice chat, so technically they were typing Japanese, and we communicated via using the auto translate feature. And I was the only English speaking person too. Like the whole rest of the other party were speaking or typing in Japanese, and I ended up communicating with them via the auto translate. And it was just a dungeon too, so it was nothing special. Like, we basically just said hello and goodbye using the auto translate thing, which is kind of cool. What is next? It still says DPS. It took like 15 minutes to get into that queue. Am I recording, by the way? That would be a real hoot and a holler. I spent all this time and I'm not even recording. Alright, let's do some mental roulette. Let's traumatize ourselves. Oh, man. I don't know, man. I really wanted to get this done before Endwalker. I keep saying that every time I move to do these, but they take a lot longer than I hope to get done. Like, especially if we get something like a Green Primal or something. I mean, there's like an hour limit on how long you can spend in there. But you know, it takes a while to get through those. I'll take the Bard. You can have the Red Mage. Catastrophe. Dude, this brings back really bad memories when I did this. I did Savage Catastrophe, Delta Skate V2 Savage, through the PF back when it was a thing. You know, back whenever. What was it? Was it the first? Yeah, this is the first year, right? Anyways, I did it via the PF with a friend, and I was on Bard, and so we were doing the Savage fight. We cleared it, you know, no problem. It's not a particularly hard fight. Oh, we don't have Flourish yet. Whoops. Okay, well, it's fine. It's not a particularly hard fight to do Savage once you kind of understand what's going on. All right, that's right. I didn't even levitate. I forgot about that. I was too busy doing my my spiel about Savage, but or doing my story about Savage. The funny story was we beat it, and it dropped aiming boots, which were good for me. And I rolled need on it, and I was the only bard, only person who could roll need on it. I don't remember. I think someone came into my room and was talking to me, so I was very distracted. And what ended up happening was I rolled need on it, and then I left before it dropped. So I literally rolled need on it, and then and then I left the instance before it dropped into my my inventory. So I literally threw away I don't even remember if it was best in slot. I mean, obviously it was better than what I had, because you know it's max item level. But I literally threw away those max item level Savage boots. Fun story, by the way. You know, it's just like you're casually losing your gear due to stupidity. I don't know. I've never been able to live that moment down. I'm surprised, by the way, with how many people are doing Omega. Like, I haven't been grinding Mental Roulette, but you know, I'll do it occasionally for the tome bonus, which isn't a whole lot, by the way. It's like 10 tomes. But I've been getting a lot of Omega fights via Mental Roulette. I'm surprised how many people are doing it. I mean, I think Ishikawa literally did say that she recommends that you do Binding Coil and Omega to as those elements of the story will play into Endwalker's story, which makes sense, right? Because there's literally an Omega type looking thing in the benchmark trailer. Let's use my feathers since we got divination going on here. Looks like the other dancer's DCing. People have some insane amount of stacks. I think I got the thing that says I did 50 of them. 50 or 100. Either way, it's not a whole lot. Not that. Yay, 50 of them. Wow! Guys, we are not close at all. We are 2.5% done. Hell yeah. Man. I mean, look, it's not the end of the, like, we got 3.5 months until Endwalker to do it, right? Which is about the amount of time I thought we had 2 months ago, right? Back 2 months ago, I thought, oh, you know, it's gonna launch, you know, mid to late September. Nope. So, yeah. I don't know, maybe we can do a couple more. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll get like freaking like Violin EX, and I'll be completely discouraged for the rest of the month. Ooh, Umbra. I don't remember how Umbra normal goes. I don't even think, like, is Umbra normal even that hard? I'm trying to think. Not really, right? It's kind of a mess when you get to the tile phase, because everyone's just kind of wherever the frick they want. But other than that, it's not really that hard, right? Just kind of trying to remember. I've spent so long doing Umbra Savage and wiping to it with my free company that I don't even remember what Umbra normal is like anymore. Why Umbra normal? Well, it's probably new people, that's probably why. Because I would think, like, if anything, it would be Eternity, because people are trying to get their blades for the tome weapons. But I guess it makes sense if there's just new people, right? Dude, I'm gonna use my freaking tinctures. Hell yeah. Honestly, I made so many freaking tinctures that it's probably never going to get actually used in a practical manner. Like, I made so many for every single stat too. And they're all just kind of piling up in the free company chest because we haven't been getting together recently to do any high-end content, really. So, I mean, I might as well use them. Doing level 80 content. It was funny when we were doing when we were progging through Umbra Savage for the first time. The thing that tripped us up the most, like we literally spent like 2 nights on it, was actually the clone phase where she would do the cleave, but she would have like, you know, 2 clones of herself. And yeah, we could not figure that out for the life of us, and we would always wipe at that phase. Like, we thought for sure that the biggest roadblock would be the tile phase for Savage, but no, it was actually the it was the clone phase, and then we ended up finding like the cheese to find the safe spot really easily, and it was so simple to find it. I felt really stupid when the solution came up, and I was like, oh man, that's really smart. Why didn't I think of that? Because I'm an idiot, obviously. Funny thing too is that despite how easy the cheese is to learn, no one else in my free company bothered to commit it to memory. So they always relied on me to find the spot. Nah. I really wanted to troll them one of these times and pick the wrong spot on purpose. But I was never that bad of a boy. I wasn't that naughty. Damn, I want to get my resistance weapon, gun, and bow. Maybe I'll pick up like the tome bow, the what's the Crypt Lurker? Maybe I'll pick up the Crypt Lurker bow and gun in the meantime, since I'm still probably quite far off from getting those. Honestly, I'm actually not that far off. Like, honestly, I could probably get it done in, well, I don't want to say a day. I mean, it really depends. You know, Palace of the Day can be a kind of a bitch when it comes to dropping those time-worn artifacts. If I just spend a decent chunk of time working on it, I probably could get it done relatively quickly. I haven't. I have a ninja. I forgot about that. Never mind. We don't have a ninja anymore. He is dead. You know, one thing that I will say, these fights last forever. I feel like I've said that before, but man, these fights seriously last forever. Oh, that was a bad time to do this. Oh, it's not dead. Okay, never mind. It's dead now. Oh, we missed one. Presumably from the other side. It's funny, in a way. I feel like I say this about a lot of like EX and Savage fights. They're kind of easier than the normal mode fights, just in the fact that everything's so organized. You know, you always know where everyone's gonna be when it comes to those fights, as opposed to like the normal version of the fights that you're probably doing in the Duty Finder with random people that you don't know. So everyone's just kind of scattered all over the place, and you're like, oh shit. You know, where's everyone gonna be? Also, the reason why I don't think Scholar is very powerful in the Duty Finder. Like, Scholar, perfectly fine when you're in a very controlled environment and you know exactly where everyone's gonna be. Because things like, you know, Succor and Ad Loquium, Emergency Tactics, and Sacred Soil, really easy to use. But man, trying to get that shit to freaking work in a with a random group of people in a Duty Finder group. My god. God, this fight lasts forever. It just feels that way. It hasn't even been that long. It's only been 7 minutes since we've been in here. And yeah, we've had a few deaths, and there's a couple people who are probably lower geared because they're new, but still, man. Maybe it's because there's no, like, distinct, like, transition phase for this fight. The same thing, I feel the same way about, what's the doggo called? Shadowkeeper, right? I feel the same way about Shadowkeeper normal mode, too. It just, like, it feels like so long, such a long fight, because there's no like transitionary phases. Like, it's just one big repeating rotation of phases. So it really doesn't feel like, it just feels like a continuous thing. So it just feels longer. That even makes sense. I will roll on the chest because there's some neat glamours I want. But you know, when it comes to like when it comes to Thancred and Eternity, when it comes to Fatebreaker and Eternity, those fights don't seem as long, right? Because there's very distinct phases that you go through. I don't know, that's just me. It's getting odder, man. I didn't win anything. Feels bad. I won a commendation. I wish commendations were more impactful. Because once you get past, what, 5,000, they're completely pointless to you. Is it 5,000? It's 3,000. When do you get your parade chocobo? How do I check this? Where's my achievements list? There it is, at the bottom. Alright. What's it in character? Who the hell is this? Oh, the dragon, right. I never unlocked this person. I probably should. Okay, yeah, after 3,000 it's completely pointless. Because that's when you get your parade chocobo. Which I don't actually have a normal fat chocobo, now that I think about it. I have the parade chocobo and I have the fat black chocobo, but I don't have a normal fat chocobo. I honestly don't know what the difference between the parade chocobo and the fat chocobo is. I think it's just, I think the normal fat chocobo is the saddle's red and there isn't a crown probably. I don't know. All right, we can work on our hunt pills. That was what I was in the middle of doing before I got ripped around by tangents. Dude, I am nowhere near any of these things. What the hell? Was I literally just riding around in circles? I realized that about myself. When I like to ramble, I'll just hop on a mount or even just run around in general on my character. I don't know. I guess it's like the equivalent of like an in-game fidget spinner, you know? You know, people like just, they need to have something to fidget with when they're talking, you know, clicking a pen or twirling a pen or, you know, playing with a candy wrapper, you know? I guess I am one of those types of people. Who knew? Actually, I think I do remember, like, I was doing a recording at some point. I don't remember what it was, but there was literally like a fingernail clipper on my desk and I was fidgeting it with it the whole time. And occasionally you could hear it in the recording and it bothered the crap out of me. But, you better believe that I was not going to re-record a 50-minute video just to stop myself from doing that. So you guys just had to listen to it occasionally in the background. You're welcome. But yeah, lots of new people. Haven't talked to any single one of those new people, by the way. Like, I don't know. I mean, I already mentioned earlier in this video, I am an introvert. You better believe that I'm not gonna reach out and talk to anybody. I mean, on one hand, that's also a great opportunity, right, to make content. And I've noticed that too. There's a lot of Final Fantasy XIV content creators that I've noticed are making new content specifically catered to new people. Because there's so many of them now that suddenly jumped aboard like in this past month or so. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what I can even add to that pile of conversation that hasn't already been said at this point, other than reiterating past topics. Then again, isn't that what we always do? Isn't that what commentary long play is? It's literally me doing the same thing over and over again, and you guys come and sit and watch it, and you guys are entertained by it. So it's not, I shouldn't be painting it like it's a bad thing. It's not. I just found this by accident, so I'm gonna kill it. I don't know. I have a couple video ideas I've already wanted to work on anyway. Shit. I would like to kill this before then. No, that reminds me. I think I did a video recording sometime last month in July. Oh god, it's this one. But I didn't post it. That's right. I should dig around in my in my archives to find that and edit that up and put that up too. It was funny. I don't remember what I was looking up in particular. I was digging around and looking up a tutorial video for something, and the guy was on Windows 7, and I heard the very distinct Windows 7 like notification, you know, the like ding. I was like, damn, that takes me back. Oh man, that takes me way back. That's crazy. It's always a weird thing when you feel nostalgic for a freaking sound effect. See, sound design does matter. So used to hearing the Windows 10 notification sound effect that hearing that Windows 7 one was just, man. That brought me back. That 100k drill. Get used to never seeing those again once Endwalker hits. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I suspect by the time 7.0 rolls around, right? Probably numbers will get back to that point-ish. I guess the one saving grace about this fight now is that usually there's so many overgeared people that you just blow through it before the problematic mechanics start stacking on each other. That being the alternating red and red, white, and then the alternating black and white, I should say. All right, blue first. See, people still mess it up. I mean, it's when you try to explain it and you put it on paper, it doesn't sound that bad, but in practice, like it's kind of tough sometimes to set aside enough brain power to really figure that one out. It was a bad time to hit Wildfire, by the way. That was a terrible decision. God, I'm an idiot. This is another reason why I wouldn't mind hopping off of range DPS and going to melee. I tend to get disregarded all the time when it comes to buffs. It's like, come on guys, I do DPS too. I want to get the Dance Partner, I want to get Dragon Sight, I want to get Astrologian cards. And this fight is much shorter than the last one. Holy crap! I mean, it is from the previous tier, so that does make sense. God, this dancer's using improvisation. Impossible. Nah, it's fine. I usually forget to use improv too sometimes. It's just like... Something's coming, watch out! I miss Reen, man. If anyone knows where Reen actually is post Shadowbringers story, I would love to know, like, where her actual character is. Because you know how a lot of times, like, those characters, they'll just kind of be around the world and you can come, you know, you can go, like, talk to them and stuff. I want to go talk to Reen, man. I miss her. I tried looking for her, like, in a bunch of places. I just could not find her. Oh, but here we go. I need to get hit by black. Hey, I'm tanking. See, this proves that I am doing more DPS than this red mage, even though the red mage has dancer. I'm gonna die. Somebody provoke. Yo, Mr. Paladin, please save me. Thank you. Okay. Do I want anything from here? I actually do kind of want legs from here. That is something I want to do. I want to go back and do some glamour runs, because there's a lot of stuff I want from like Eden, from the various Eden raids, and the near raids in particular are just glamours that I want to pick up, and probably better to do it now than to wait until Endwalker, when everyone's, you know, more preoccupied with the Endwalker content. And also, since coins got uncapped, now's probably around the time to do near, right? Because it's probably more populated than it usually is, as people kind of stockpile on coins and stuff. Okay, anyways, that's that'll have to do it. It's kind of a short video, but also it's really freaking hot. I'm sorry. There's only a limited amount of time in the summer that I can do in this very small room where there's no air conditioning. I have to close the doors. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, shorter videos, but I am hoping to try and get more out more consistently throughout the month, and also I have some other more scripted projects that will hopefully start rolling out this month as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Shorter video, sorry for that. I'm hot, I'm leaving. I'm not sorry for that. Sayonara. Bye bye.